Hello my dear students, how are you all? I welcome you all to this amazing session of syllabus discussion series. In earlier lecture, we have seen the overview of entire NEET syllabus, and in this very lecture, we will be talking about unit number first in very detail. Okay, so without further delay, we will discuss the unit number first, that is the diversity in the living world. So in this unit, in this diversity of living world, that unit, we will be having around 4 chapters. Chapter number first, that is the living world. Chapter number second, that is the biological classification. Chapter number third, that is the plant kingdom, and fourth one is your animal kingdom. So in this unit number first, you will be studying 4 different chapters. That is, these are these chapters. So in this very lecture, we will discuss the unit number first. What exactly you will be going to study in this unit. So let us discuss the chapter number first, that is the living world. The living world. So this living world means what? So in this there are 4 different points, 4 different aspects that we are going to discuss, that we are going to study in very detail. So first thing, these are the 4 different points, that is living. First topic that you are going to study, what is living. So we all are living, you are living, all the creatures who move from one place to another, that is a locomotion, that is another part. But you see tremendous amount of living organisms, variety of living organisms are there. So what is exactly the living? So question may arise in your mind, what is living? So why we are living? We possess certain characteristics. Okay, we possess certain characteristics because of which we considered as a living. So what are these characteristics? So it will be a very interesting part. So there are different characteristics or attributes because of which the organisms are called as living. So what are these characteristics? There are different characteristics, like growth is there, like reproduction is there, metabolism is there, consciousness is there. See, you are listening to me, I am talking with you, it is because of the consciousness. We reproduce, reproduction, we produce further progeny, reproduction, that is the characteristics. The metabolism which is occurring inside our body, that is one of the important characteristics of living organism. Growth, we grow in size. No doubt there are certain defining characters, and there are something which are not the defining characteristics. That will be studied in detail in this topic, that is what is living. In the topic second, or in the point second, diversity in the living world. So you can see tremendous amount of diversity is there in this very world. You may find plants, number of different plants, number of different animals, number of insects, birds, okay, reptiles. You can see tremendous amount of diversity. So despite of such a diversity, there is a uniqueness in each organism. Why it is so? It is because of this biodiversity, that unique property the living organisms possesses. So despite of this tremendous or huge diversity, there is a proper name to each and every individual, and they are properly named. It is made possible because of the branch that is called as taxonomy. So taxonomy is what? It is a branch of biology which deals with collection, description, classification and identification, and as well as the nomenclature of the organism. Nomenclature means what? To give the names of that to that particular organism. So this nomenclature, what are the certain rules are there for this nomenclature, and this classification, you see in the library, you will find books, they are very well classified. So we can get the book instantly. So classification is very important. So classification, then we will study about the taxonomy, we will study about the classification as well as the binomial nomenclature in this point, that is 1.2. In the next point, taxonomic categories, will be dealing about the classification in more detail, how they are classified, what is taxonomic hierarchy. Okay, so taxonomic hierarchy is actually a classification which classify a particular organism based on their similarities as well as differences. If we go from bottom to top, the dissimilarities increases in the taxonomic hierarchy, and if we go from top to bottom, the similarities increases. It consists of, you say, kingdom, then your phylum or division is there, class is there, order is there, series is there, order is there, family is there, okay, genus is there, and at last species is there. So this is the taxonomical hierarchy. So you can find here that all these things will be studied in this topic number 3rd, and this 1.4 taxonomic aids. So we have to study the taxonomy, but what are the different tools or aids or the, you can say, means by which we can study the taxonomy? These are called as taxonomic aids. That will be a very interesting part. Which are the taxonomic aids? You can see the herbariums, okay, the plants which are placed on this white paper sheet, dried plant specimen, they are called as herbariums, that we are going to study. Then second is your zoological park is there, museum is there, botanical garden is there, okay, and at last there is a concept of key that you are going to study, that will help in the identification of the plant specimen. So overall this chapter will be very fascinating and entertaining for us. So this is all about the chapter number 1st. In chapter number 2nd, we will be dealing about the biological classification. Biological classification. So what is biological classification? So obviously, despite of this huge or tremendous diversity, there is a certain there is a particular name to each and every organisms. They can be traced out very easily, and it has become possible because of the biological classification. Biological classification. So earlier there was only a 2-kingdom classification system which was proposed by the Carlos Linnaeus. That is, the organisms were divided only into kingdom Plantae and Animalia, but it was not adequate. So in this regard, the scientist R.H. Whittaker in 1969 proposed the 5-kingdom classification system, which divided all the organism based on certain characteristics. So like their cell nature, whether it is prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell, then the presence of nuclear membrane, nuclear envelope, whether it is present or not, kind of cell wall which is present, the type of organization, body organization, the type of nutrition, whether they are autotrophic, whether they are saprophytic, or whether they are heterotrophic. So based on certain characteristics, this R.H. Whittaker divided this different organisms into certain kingdoms. So it is popularly known as the 5-kingdom classification system. So that will be a very fascinating or interesting part. So in that, R.H. Whittaker divided this kingdom, 5 kingdom. The first kingdom is your Monera, second one is your Protista, third one is your Fungi, fourth one is your Plantae, fifth one is your Animalia. So this Monera will consist of, this is the first or primitive kingdom. It consists of around all kinds of bacteria, which will consist of Archibacteria is there, Eubacteria is there, Cyanobacteria is there. So these all are included in the kingdom Monera. In the kingdom Protista, you find certain dinoflagellates. Okay, chrysophytes are there, diatoms are there, slim molds are there. So they are properly, which the organisms which are not properly classified in other kingdom, they are classified in this kingdom, that is the Protista. Then third kingdom is about the fungi. These are classified mainly based on their mode of nutrition. Fungi are saprophytic. It is a kind of a heterotrophic nutrition, but it is a saprophytic. And these are chlorophyll less organism, means chlorophyll is not present, and on this ground it is separated from the kingdom Plantae. So this will consist of around, we'll study these different types of classes like Ascomycetes, Phycomycetes, Basidiomycetes, Deuteromycetes. These are different classes. This is the classification of fungi that we will going to study. It will be a very interesting session. Then fourth one is a Plantae, obviously Plantae and Animalia. These two kingdoms are well discussed in chapter number 3rd and chapter number 4th. Okay, and last one is your viruses, viroids and lichens. So what are viruses? Whether they are living, whether they are non-living, or whether they are at the threshold of living. That will be a very interesting part. You might have heard all we are going through this pandemic situation which about the coronavirus. So what is that viruses are, how they replicate, what are their properties, that will be studied in this chapter number 2nd in this virus. And there are certain other forms, viroids, that will be studied. Lichens, it is a kind of symbiotic association, that will be a very interesting part. So that is about the chapter number 2nd. Chapter number 3rd is your about plant kingdom. So basically we are, because of the plant exists. Okay, so plants are very important for our survival, and in this chapter number 3rd we'll be dealing about different plant divisions, plant groups, how the plants are evolved, how they are evolved from water to land, and different groups of the plants. In that we'll be studied about different plant groups. In that, first one is your algae, second one is your bryophyte, third one is your pteridophyte, fourth one is your gymnosperm, fifth one is your angiosperm, and at last we will be dealing about the plant life cycles and alternations of generation. So what are algae? They are most aquatic in nature, they are thalloid body, so that will be a very interesting part that we are going to study. So certain characteristics of algae will be studied. Then different classes of algae, chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae, rhodophyceae, green algae. Phaeophyceae means brown algae, rhodophyceae means red algae. So their characteristics. Okay, so that will be studied in this algae. Then what are bryophytes? They are called as amphibians of the plant kingdom. You know what are amphibians? Frog is amphibian because it resides in water also as well as on the land also. But why these bryophytes are called as amphibians of the plant kingdom? That will be a very interesting topic. So that is about the bryophytes. They generally grow on the moist or in shady places near the river bank or the seashore. So that will be studied. Then pteridophytes, they are the properly terrestrial plants. Okay, then it will be fully sporophytic body, root, stem, leaves. They are divided into root, stem, leaves. So that will be studied in this pteridophyte. Seed habit is one concept that is originated in pteridophyte. What is that seed habit? That will be a very interesting part that we will study in the pteridophytes. Then fourth one is gymnosperm. Gymnos means what? Naked. Sperm means what? Seed. So what are these plants? Gymnosperms means the plants which are having naked seeds. Means what? The seeds are not enclosed in fruit, or in other words we can say that ovules are not enclosed in ovary. Don't bother about what is ovary and what is ovule. We will discuss it in very detail, so stay tuned with me all over the sessions. So, and last is very highly evolved group, that is the angiosperms. So these are the flowering plants in which consist of a flower as a reproductive organ, and in these plants the ovary is there, ovule is enclosed in the ovary. Okay, then these are again divided into certain classes like dicotyledone, monocotyledone. Okay, so that will be a very interesting part. Last one is a plant life cycle. How these life cycles of the plant they get performed, or how the life cycle, that in that we will be dealing about what are the different life cycles: haplontic life cycle, haplodiplontic or diplontic life cycle, depending upon the prominent generation, whether it is gametophytic generation or sporophytic generation. So that will be a core of chapter number third, and at last we are having fourth chapter, that is the animal kingdom. So in that, it is very interesting topic. Animal kingdom is about us. So what are the different basis or criteria for the classification? So in that we are having body organization. How is our body? Body starts from cell. Cell forms tissue. Tissue form organ. Organ form organ system. And organ system forms organism, that is we are. Okay, and organisms interact with that of the environment. So based on the body organization, then the diploblastic and triploblastic nature. So 2 layers, 3 layers. Then coelom is a kind of a cavity which is present. Segmentation is there. So segmentation is another criteria. Notochord is another criteria, on the basis of which the animals are classified. And this last point is your how they are classified into different phylums. As in plants, we are having divisions like algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperms. Here, in animals, it is called as phylum. So porifera, okay, coelentrata, nidaria is there, Aschelmantis is there, Platelmentis is there, Annelida is there, Mollusca is there, Echinodermata is there, Hemichordata is there, Chordata is there. So that will be a very interesting and fascinating part. So my dear students, in this lecture we have discussed the unit number first, that is diversity in the living world, which comprises of 4 different chapters. First one is your living world, second one is your biological classification, third is your plant kingdom, and fourth one is your animal kingdom. I hope you enjoyed this session, and in next lecture we'll be dealing about the second unit. Okay, so stay tuned for me. If you like this, please subscribe this channel and share to your friends or the needy students, and the content here will be very totally free content is there, and don't we are not compromising about the content and the delivery of content also. So stay tuned, it will be a very beneficial for all of you. Okay, so till then, bye. Thank you very much, students.